audio. Are you truly exhausted? Or are you just emotionally malnourished? Are you truly exhausted? Or are you just emotionally malnourished? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Jeffrey. I am an emotional resilience strategist, and I work with clients. I work with women entrepreneurs. I work with LGBTQ artists. I work with anyone who wants a complete and utter, unshakable commitment to themselves, to being themselves, supporting and loving themselves. And I want to help you to do it today. We live in a culture that treats doing more like that's supposed to sustain you. And I just want to ask you today, what if your burnout isn't from overwork, it's from being emotionally undernourished? You may not need more sleep right now. You may not need to concentrate on that. You may just need more you in your life. You may need more fulfillment, more kindness, more love, more doing what you love and taking good care of yourself. Perhaps you're not just tired. Perhaps you're starving for your own attention. Ooh. Maybe you're starving for your own attention. Emotional malnourishment means you've been feeding everyone else, but not yourself. And you may recognize that you're emotionally malnourished when you have a feeling of being around people, but still being invisible. Of being in a crowded spot, serving many other people, but being unseen yourself. I am on the internet as part of my job many days, many times, many ways, and so I am seen by a lot of people. But if I'm not if I'm not a good custodian of my emotional energy, then I can get into a very lonely place, even while going viral. You know, emotional malnourishment is showing up with a smile, even if you're unraveling inside. And it's looking like a success, and you probably are a success in many ways, but your life starts to feel like a prison within that success. When you abandon yourself to please others, even rest can feel like punishment. So, the hardest hit by this pattern are high achievers. You've built your identity on being strong, on being capable, and on being on. But performing strength 24/7 will begin to bankrupt your soul. When I was a child, a little LGBTQ rainbow child in Pennsylvania, my father ran the farm that I grew up on. And I remember him being exhausted many, many days. And I remember looking and thinking, feeling, sensing that it was the kind of exhaustion that was pure, that was in its best sense earned. It was, I did a lot today. I devoted myself to a cause today. I really gave my all today, and now I'm exhausted. And I remember looking and feeling like, whatever I'm going to do in life, I want to be that exhausted. Emotional malnourishment is different. You can be nourished and exhausted, and you can be emotionally malnourished and feeling completely hollowed out And I'll tell you one of the red flags: perfectionism. As an emotional resilience strategist, I work with a lot of clients. Hi, Camera B. I'm just making sure you're included. I work with a lot of high achievers who are drawn toward perfectionism. And I'll be very honest with you, perfectionism is often just the mask you wear to hide your inner emotional hunger. Perfectionism is a mask you wear to hide your emotional hunger. And today I'm going to talk to you about strategies to be fed. You can't optimize your way out of emotional starvation. You've honestly got to accept your way out. So I worked with a client. All of my clients are everything I do in the coaching business that I do as an emotional resilience strategist. It's all confidential. So I'm going to fudge a few of the details and be very, very, high level view to respect the people I work with and keep this confidential. But I had a client who was emotional every morning, who cried every single morning. She would get into a space where she was alone, that it was private, and she felt the least bit safe, and tears would come immediately. And she didn't quite know why this was happening, and she couldn't figure out why it would happen so regularly every single morning. And it turns out she hadn't spoken kindly to herself in years, probably a decade. And when we started nourishing her emotionally, everything changed. We worked together to get over feeling like a burden and to ask for what she needed from people who loved her already. Emotional self-care is not a luxury if you're a high-achieving person who does it all and serves a lot of people. Emotional self-care is fuel for the work you do. Let's go over some signs that you're emotionally malnourished. 1, you feel resentful even after rest. 2, you feel invisible in almost all of your relationships. 3, you're chronically over-explaining yourself. 4, you crave peace but sabotage your own stillness. And 5, you're almost always okay. There are very few binaries in life, but that's one of them. If you're just shy of being okay, you're just almost okay, you're actually in the I'm not okay territory. And that's okay, but you need to be aware of it if you're going to do something to fix it. If you're always chronically almost okay, you're actually not okay. And it's not your fault. And we're going to do something to fix it today. I want to explain to you what emotional nourishment looks like. I'll give you some examples. It looks like speaking to yourself with the reverence you use to speak to others. When I went on Newsmax years ago, before the camera rolled, I was sitting there with eyes closed saying, "Jeffrey, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Let's go get ice cream after this. Vegan ice cream. I think you're wonderful." Emotional resilience is taking 5 minutes to ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? And then, camera C. And then answering yourself. It's not productivity, it's presence. Emotional nourishment is letting yourself matter every single day. What if the best thing you could do for your future was care for the you are today? What if the best thing for your future was caring for yourself right now? Let me tell you how to start today. Start with micro moments of truth. I'd like you to start being more honest with yourself. Take out your phone, write in a note, I'm allowed to need, and then look at that once a day. Encourage yourself. I'm allowed to need, and look at it in the mornings when you wake up. It's okay to check in with yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. And I tell you what, check your emotional battery life often. And you can keep, there are apps, you can keep track of it on your phone, or you can just take a mental note for yourself. But I'm telling you to do it because you deserve that kind of attention. If this spoke to you today, know that you're not broken. You're just underfed emotionally, and it's time for more balance. If you would like more encouragement, and if you'd like reminders to come home to yourself, I have a completely free newsletter where I pour my heart out and I tell you how much you're worth, which is a lot. And I remind you to come back to what's most important. If you would like to watch more videos, they're around. You'll probably get suggested another one after this one. And you can always share this video with someone you know or you suspect is emotionally underfed. Thank you for watching today. The work I do is nothing without you. The work I do as an emotional resilience strategist means nothing if I can't have wonderful people to work with and be inspired by. So, thank you. You can find out about the coaching on my website. And one more thing to remember, you don't need fixing. You need feeding emotionally and spiritually. Take good care.